What if the fruit you eat every morning, the one you believe is the healthiest choice on your plate, is actually spiking your blood sugar more than a candy bar? Today, I'm going to show you a fruit that many people consider healthy, but that clinical research has shown can produce a higher blood sugar spike than some of the most processed sweets. And the reason why might change everything you thought you knew about healthy eating. Welcome back to Health Education Hub. I'm Dr. Vivian Hart. If you are new on this channel, please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. I want to tell you about Robert. Robert was 62 years old when he came to see me. He was doing everything right, or so he thought. He had switched from processed snacks to fruit. He swapped his afternoon candy bar for a banana. He felt proud of that choice. His doctor had told him to eat more fruit, and he was following that advice to the letter. But here is what happened. Robert's blood sugar kept climbing. His A1C went up. His energy crashed mid-afternoon, and he could not understand why. He was eating clean, and yet his numbers were getting worse. He came to me frustrated and confused. I asked him one question. "What fruit are you eating?" He said, "A banana, every morning, sometimes two." That's when I knew exactly what was happening. Let me show you the data. In a 2005 study, published in the Malaysian Journal of Nutrition, researchers fed healthy adults 50 grams of carbohydrates from various fruits and measured their blood glucose response. The results were striking. Bananas produced the largest rise in post-meal blood glucose, a 62% increase compared to glucose. That is higher than many candy bars. Another study found that the glycemic response to a banana is similar to that of white bread, something most people would never expect. Comment fruit right now if you eat fruit regularly, because what I'm about to tell you might make you rethink your next snack. Here is what the headlines don't tell you. When you eat a banana, you're consuming about 15 grams of sugar in a single serving. That's not far from what you'd find in a standard candy bar. But here's the crucial difference. The sugar in fruit comes packaged with fiber. That fiber is supposed to slow down absorption. But here's where the science gets interesting. The riper the fruit, the less fiber's effect matters. A ripe banana has more sugar and less resistant starch. The sugar is more rapidly released. A 2023 study on continuous glucose monitoring found that whole fruits with high sugar content can spike blood glucose in under 30 minutes. That's faster than some processed snacks. A medium-sized banana has a glycemic index of about 51. But a ripe banana can be as high as 62, which is in the same range as white bread. Let me say that again. A ripe banana can spike your blood sugar as fast as white bread. Now, I'm not saying you should never eat bananas. I'm saying you need to understand how your body responds, because when you eat that banana on an empty stomach, without any protein or fat to slow it down, you are sending a rapid wave of glucose into your bloodstream. Your body responds with a surge of insulin, and if you're insulin resistant, that surge can cause a crash. That crash leaves you hungry, tired, and craving more sugar. That's the roller coaster Robert was riding every day without understanding why. Why does your body respond this way? 3 factors determine how a fruit affects your blood sugar. First, the glycemic index. This measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar. Bananas have a moderate GI, but it varies widely depending on ripeness. A green banana has more resistant starch and a lower GI. A ripe banana has more sugar and a higher GI. The difference can be as much as 20 points. That's the difference between a slow release and a rapid spike. Studies have shown that green bananas have a GI of about 30, while overripe bananas can reach 62. Second, fiber content. Fiber slows digestion, but bananas have only about 3 grams of fiber per fruit. That's not enough to offset 15 grams of sugar, especially if you're eating it alone. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that pairing apples with nut butter can reduce glucose spikes by 30%. Without that pairing, the fiber alone often isn't enough. The soluble fiber in fruit does help, but it's not a magic shield. Third, your individual metabolic response. Continuous glucose monitoring data shows that people vary widely in their response to the same food. Some people can eat a banana and see a small rise. Others see a dramatic spike. This is why the same fruit can be perfectly fine for one person and problematic for another. Factors like insulin sensitivity, muscle mass, physical activity, and even sleep quality affect how your body processes sugar. There's another layer to this story that most people never hear about. When you eat a banana, you're not just getting sugar, you're getting a specific type of sugar called fructose. Fructose is metabolized differently than glucose. It goes directly to your liver. High amounts of fructose can contribute to fatty liver disease, especially in sedentary individuals. A banana contains about 7 grams of fructose. That's not insignificant. Over time, consistent high fructose intake can drive insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction. A 2022 review, published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition, examined the metabolic effects of fruit consumption in people with insulin resistance. The authors concluded that while whole fruit is generally beneficial, high glycemic fruits like bananas and grapes should be consumed with caution in metabolically compromised individuals. The review highlighted that portion size and ripeness are critical factors that determine the metabolic impact. A 2021 study published in Diabetes Care examined the relationship between fruit intake and glycemic control in over 7,000 adults with type 2 diabetes. The researchers found that participants who consumed high glycemic fruits regularly had significantly higher HbA1c levels compared to those who consumed low glycemic fruits. The difference was clinically meaningful. This suggests that fruit selection matters for long-term glucose management. A 2020 systematic review in the Journal of Nutrition concluded that while whole fruit consumption is associated with reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, this association is strongest for fruits with a lower glycemic index. The authors specifically noted that bananas, grapes, and watermelon have higher glycemic loads and should be consumed in moderation by individuals with glucose intolerance. This is the evidence Robert's doctor never explained to him. Let me also address the natural fallacy. Many people believe that because sugar comes from fruit, it's somehow better than processed sugar. But your body doesn't care where the sugar came from. It responds to glucose and fructose regardless of the source. A candy bar and a banana both raise blood sugar. The candy bar has added fat that slows absorption, while the banana's fiber may not be enough to counteract its sugar load. In some cases, the banana can cause a higher spike. This is why continuous glucose monitoring has been so revealing. People are often shocked to see that a banana causes a higher spike than a serving of ice cream or a piece of chocolate. The fat in ice cream and chocolate slows glucose absorption. The banana, with its rapidly available sugars, can hit your bloodstream faster. That's the hidden truth most people never hear. Here's what I want you to do tonight. If you have a blood glucose monitor, eat a piece of fruit on an empty stomach. Test your blood sugar before you eat. Test it again 30 minutes later. Then test it at 60 minutes. Write those numbers down. That's your personal data. That's the only thing that matters for your body. If you don't have a monitor, pay attention to how you feel. Do you feel a burst of energy followed by a crash? Do you get hungry again within an hour? Do you feel tired or foggy? These are signs that your blood sugar may have spiked and then dropped. Your body is telling you something. Listen to it. Comment monitor right now if you're going to try this test tonight, because understanding your own response is more valuable than any general advice. Now, here is a framework I use with my patients. Find yourself in it. If you are metabolically healthy, active, and not insulin resistant, you can likely enjoy most fruits in moderation, but even then, pair them with protein or fat. An apple with a handful of nuts is a better choice than an apple alone. Add a hard-boiled egg to that banana. The protein slows the absorption. You'll get a gentler rise and a longer period of satiety. If you are pre-diabetic or diabetic, be more selective. Choose fruits with a lower glycemic index. Cherries are 22, plums are 24, grapefruit is 25, oranges are 35. These fruits have a much gentler effect on blood sugar. Save bananas for after a meal, when the other food already in your stomach helps slow the absorption. Even then, choose a smaller banana that is still slightly green. If you are over 60, your metabolism has changed. Your muscle mass may be lower. Your insulin sensitivity may be reduced. Your medication may affect your response. For you, the rule is simple. Always combine fruit with a protein or fat source. A banana alone is a sugar spike. A banana with yogurt is a balanced snack. The protein and fat help moderate the glycemic response. And there is one more number you need to know: the glycemic load. This takes into account both the GI and the portion size. A banana has a moderate GI, but a high glycemic load because of its sugar content. A small banana has a lower load. A large banana has a higher one. Portion size matters. The glycemic load of a medium banana is about 13. That's considered moderate. But when you eat 2 bananas, that load doubles. This is why Robert's morning habit of eating 2 bananas was causing problems. Let me give you a practical example. Patricia is 68. She has type 2 diabetes. She loves bananas. She used to eat one every morning on an empty stomach. Her blood sugar would spike to 180 within 30 minutes. I suggested she eat half a banana after a meal of eggs and vegetables. She did that. Her spike dropped to 130. Same fruit, different context, different result. That's the power of timing and combination. Another example is Maria, 55, pre-diabetic, who switched from bananas to berries. She found that her fasting glucose dropped by 10 points over 3 months. That's a real-world result. It's not about banning any single food. It's about understanding how your body responds and making adjustments accordingly. Here is what I want you to take away from this. Fruit is not bad. It is not the enemy. But not all fruit is the same. And the context in which you eat it matters enormously. A banana after a workout is different from a banana on an empty stomach. A green banana is different from a ripe banana. A banana with nuts is different from a banana alone. These distinctions matter. The problem with conventional dietary advice is that it treats all fruit as equal. It doesn't account for ripeness, portion size, or pairing. It doesn't account for individual metabolic response. And it certainly doesn't account for the fact that some fruits have more sugar than others. This is why people like Robert can do everything right and still struggle with their numbers. If this video gave you something your last appointment didn't, please subscribe to this channel right now. We are working toward 100,000 subscribers because that tells YouTube this information should reach everyone searching for it. Please like this video. Share it with someone who thinks they're making a healthy choice by eating fruit but doesn't understand the hidden sugar. Your share might help someone understand their own blood sugar response. And leave a comment below. What's your favorite fruit? And have you ever checked your blood sugar after eating it? I read every single one. If you found this helpful, drop a comment with the word banana so I know you were here. And if you want to go deeper into glucose management, check out my video on the best time to eat carbs for blood sugar control. It links in the description. Remember, this is educational content. Always consult your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your health routine, especially if you are on medication for blood sugar management. I'm Dr. Vivian Hart. Stay informed, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video.